the dear devotees who have assembled here. My humble
Mataji, your voice is not audible. Your voice is not audible.
Hare Krishna. Now, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Now it is.
My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees here. My pranams to all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti bhaktam vidhi shah. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvanmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadotam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadikaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Hare Krishna Mahamantri ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna to all dear devotees. Welcome to the wonderful Chaitanya Charitamrita study class. And we have been hearing previously about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's synopsis of the Madhya Lila pastimes. Like previously, Prabhu, Bir Krishna Prabhu, and then previously we heard so many devotees telling about Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the first chapter of the Madhya Lila, he wrote a complete synopsis and he described what is in Madhya Lila and what is in Antya Lila. A short. Actually, I was reflecting by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami giving this synopsis. He has in fact aroused an interest in all of us. Okay, when we read something, who is this? So, in fact, that is what I felt. And one name is leading to an pastime which we want to read and understand and analyze. That is how so wonderfully the pastimes are being given. So previous class, Bir Krishna Prabhuji finished till Madhya Lila chapter 126. So today I'm starting with the text number 127. Purve yabe Prabhu Ramanande Ramilila Nila chale asi bare tanre agnadila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Previously, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been touring South India, he had met Ramananda Raya on the banks of the Godavari. At that time, it had been decided that Ramananda Raya would resign from his post as governor and return to Jagannath Puri to live with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have heard several speakers talking about how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to Sri Ramananda Raya on the banks of the river Godavari, and we heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asking Ramananda Raya so many questions, and finally Ramananda Raya concludes about the love of the gopis to be the topmost. We heard about this from several speakers, and then at that point Ramananda Raya also could understand that the supreme goal was to go back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and serve him. So he promised he will start living in Jagannath Puri along with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is how the end Antya Lila Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed several intimate pastimes with Ramananda Raya, Swarup Damodar Goswami. We will see other devotees. Text 128. Raja Agna Lana Teno Ela Kata Dine Ratri Dine Krishna Kata Ramananda Sane. Translation. Upon the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Ramananda Raya took leave of the king and returned to Jagannath Puri. After he arrived, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much enjoyed talking with him both day and night about Lord Krishna and his pastimes. So this we see after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes back from South India. So those like previously we discussed the 24 years of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's remaining life was divided into 6 years of South India tour, and the next 6 years was dedicated to preaching and dancing in front of the Rath Yatra, and the last 20 years were completely dedicated to intimate pastimes and hearing in the Gambhira. So here we see that Ramananda Raya was a very close, intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 129. Kashi Mishra Kripa Pradyumna Mishradhi Milana Paramananda Puri Govinda Kasishwara Gamana. Translation. After Ramananda Raya's arrival, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed his mercy upon Kashi Mishra and met Pradyumna Mishra and other devotees. At that time, 3 personalities, Paramananda Puri, Govinda and Kasishwara, came to see Lord Chaitanya at Jagannath Puri. We already know that Paramananda Puri, Govinda and Kasishwara were god brothers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and disciples of Sri Ishwara Puri. So they came and started staying with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Govinda became the personal assistant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And several pastimes we have heard of how Govinda was such a dedicated servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Through his activities, through his actions, and through his devotion and the performance of his regular activities towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Govinda showed the entire world how a disciple has to be. And then about Paramananda Puri also we have read, and even about Kasishwara we have heard several pastimes. So we'll go on to 130. Damodara Swarupa Milana Parama Ananda Sikhi Mahiti Milana Raya Bhavananda. Translation. Eventually there was a meeting with Swarupa Damodara Goswami, and the Lord became very greatly pleased. Then there was a meeting with Shiki Mahiti and with Bhavananda Raya, the father of Ramananda Raya. Swarup Damodar Goswami was earlier a very great scholar from Navadvip itself, but then later he was studying in Varanasi, and he was a great Sanskrit Pandit. And after hearing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he comes to Jagannath Puri and takes the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is a very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and knows all the intricate pastimes, and also he understands the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then we have heard even about Swarup Damodara Goswami being such a great personality that he would write down, he would check the meaning of anybody, whoever used to bring the scriptures, or whoever write something about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or some commentary on a scripture was first shown to Swarup Damodar Goswami, and then later on it was given to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for his appreciation. And in the 10th chapter of the Adi Lila, we have seen about Shikhi Mahiti. Who was Shikhi Mahiti? It is said that she was the assistant of Srimati Radhaharini called Raghaleka. Shikhi Mahiti, Madhavi, Devi, and their brother Murari Mahiti were all very unalloyed devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, who is Shikhi Mahiti? He was initially not having faith in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although his brother Murari Mahiti and Madhavi Devi were so deeply had faith in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shikhi Mahiti was Likhina Adhikari in Jagannath Puri temple. He used to write whatever happened in the Jagannath Puri temple, and he was serving the Lord. But one night, in fact, Madhavi Devi and Murari Mahiti kept telling about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they wanted him to take his shelter. But Shikhi Mahiti was avoiding. One day, when he dozed off hearing to the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had a dream wherein Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming to the temple to take darshan of Jagannath, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is walking into the deity of Lord Jagannath and coming out. So this is continuously happening. And then Shikhi Mahiti understands, oh, there is no difference between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Shikhi Mahiti. Next day, when Shikhi Mahiti was entering the Jagannatha temple, he saw the same pastime taking right in front of his eyes. So that is how he became a great devotee and started serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he understood that there was no difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath. So when immediately Shikhi Mahiti saw this pastime happening, he fell on the ground of where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, and he was in ecstasy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just lifted him up and embraced him, telling, "You are the elder brother of Murari." That is how Shikhi Mahiti became a very great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll go to the next text, 131. Gauda haite sarva Vaishnevara agamana Kulina grama vasi sange prathama milana. All the devotees from Bengal gradually began arriving at Jagannath Puri. At this time, the residents of Kulina Grama also came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the first time. Okay, Kulina Grama is where it is a part of Bengal. And why is it famous? How the residents of Kulina Grama were so devoted. Once Haridas Thakura came to Kulina Grama and also chanted there for 6 months. He was staying in Kulina Grama, and the entire village was associated with Haridas Thakur, and they all became devotees. And also Gunaraja Khan's son, Satyaraja Khan, became a very great devotee, and they were always coming to Bengal to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Also, Kulina Grama's devotees asked the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about who is a devotee of Krishna. First year when they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they asked this question. Satyaraja Khan asked this question, how to recognize a devotee? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, even once a person says the name Krishna, he is to be considered as a devotee. And second year also, when they ask this question, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that one who one who continuously repeats the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is to be considered a Vaishnava. Third time when they ask, they say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that simply by looking at devotees Tilaka and Kantimala, one is inspired to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So he gives 3 gradations of devotees to the Kulina Grama explanation about how a devotee has to be. We also learn these different categories of devotees from even the Bhagavatam. And Swayambhuva Manu, when he is teaching Dhruva Maharaj, because Dhruva Maharaj gets angry at the Yakshas who killed his brother Uttama, Dhruva Maharaja states this. Person, when he sees another person who is superior in learning or superior in his devotion or superior in whatever, that person should be jolly in receiving him. Because when you see great qualities in other person, we should immediately recognize that he is blessed by the Lord. And we should in fact even associate with such a great personality and take his blessings and take so many teachings from him. They may share how they are doing devotion to Krishna. They may share how they are engaging their 24 hours in serving Krishna. They may always endeavor to learn some new things. And this is how a person can advance, be it materially also. When you understand a person is greater than us in knowledge or in doing things more perfectly, we can immediately start learning. That is first category of how we deal with a person greater in quality than us. The second category is if we meet some persons who are lower than us. It could be materially, it could be spiritually. We have to be compassionate to them and teach them so that they will also grow in devotional life. It could be a devotee who is just beginning his devotional life, so we can help them to progress in devotional life by giving them small tips, being friendly to them, and being compassionate, helping them to progress. So this is how we can deal with persons who are less qualified than us. And if we see persons who are equally qualified, they may have the same amount of knowledge or devotional activity, devotional life, then immediately we should become friendly with them. And also we should remember, when friendly, it means that we have to always be careful not to do some aparadha, even in a friendly manner. We can joke and we can laugh and we can share Krishna's teachings. We can help them help each of us to learn more about Krishna, help each of us to read and understand more things. But at the same time, we should understand that he is also a devotee and be very careful in our dealings. So like this, we also understand how we can deal with other devotees. Material life means enviousness. That is why we are here in this material life, material world. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by giving these instructions, he is helping us to get over our enviousness. Whether in spiritual life also we are envious. Oh, he has become great, or he has become a chakra leader or a mahachakra leader or whatever, or he is doing more service. So, but we can take these lessons instead of being enviousness. Immediately, we should recognize our thoughts. Without recognizing our thought and without introspecting what we are thinking, it is not good to be a devotee. A devotee means introspection, observing constantly what we are thinking. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives these teachings so that we observe our behavior, action-wise, body-wise, mind-wise also we observe. Text 132. Narahari Dasa Adi Yata Khanda Vasi Shivananda Sena Sange Milila Sabe Asi. Translation. Eventually, Narahari Dasa and other inhabitants of Khanda, along with Shivananda Sena, all arrived, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met them. So here, Sri Khanda is a place which is very wonderful, wonderfully described. And here, very main three devotees we hear. One is Narahari Dasa and his brother, elder brother Murari Dasa, and Murari Dasa's son Raghunandan Dasa. We have heard about Raghunandan Thakur, how even in his childhood he was such a great devotee. And every year, Narahari Dasa Thakura and Murari Dasa Thakura used to regularly visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I forgot one more thing about Kulina Grama. Kulina Grama devotees were ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to make silken rope for Jagannath, because during the Ratha Yatra, the Lord would be tied with the rope and he used to come out. Jagannath is the heaviest person, who can lift him? But all the servants of Jagannath, to lift him so that he would be carefully brought out, they used to tie a rope around his waist. And with the help of the rope and pillows, they bring Jagannath. So every year, the Kulina Grama Vasis used to bring a silken rope for the Ratha Yatra. And now, Narahari Dasa Thakura, what was his earlier life before he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Actually, Narahari Das Thakura was a very great personality. He was a wonderful devotee. And it appears that Narahari Thakura was Madhumati, and she was serving honey to Shri Radha Govinda and their associates in Krishna Lila. And when he was born in Sri Khanda, he was a great Pandit and a great poet and a Sanskrit scholar. So he wrote many devotional poems about Shri Radha Krishna before he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And once when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda went to Sri Khanda, Nityananda Prabhu said, we know who you are. Actually, okay, where is Madhu? You please bring us Madhu. So Narahari Thakura went with a pot immediately to a pond and filled up the water from the pond, and he, by his mystic power, he turned it into honey and supplied to Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it was full and unlimitedly it was given to all the devotees. And also Narahari Dasa Thakura's great disciple was Lochan Das Thakura, who is the celebrated author of Sri Chaitanya Mangala. And Narahari Das Thakura was also extremely dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there are so many wonderful songs of Narahari Das Thakura about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in fact, one wonderful song which I would like to sing for all of us is this. Okay, it is seen even, you can see the song in our Vaishnava songs book. One second. Manare kahana gaura katha, manare kahana gaura katha, gaurera nama miyara dhama, piriti muriti data, shayane gaura swapane gaura, gaura nayane ratara, jivane gaura marane gaura, gaura galarahara, hiyare madhare gauranga rakhiya, virale basiya raba, manare sadate serupa chadere, nayane nayane toba, gaura vihane navanchi parane, gaura kerechi sara, gaura baliya jauka jivane, kichu na chahibara, gaura gamana gaura ghatana, gaura mukera hasi, gaura piriti gaura murati, hiyaya rahala pasi, gaura dharma gaura karama, gaura vedera sara, gaura charane parana sampino, gaura kari bena para, gaura shabada gaura sampada, jahara hiya jage, Narahari Dasa Tahara Charane, Tatata Sharana Mage. Translation: O mind, speak only about Gaura. Gaura's name is the abode of nectar and the worshipable bestower of Unnatojjvala Prema. In sleeping Gaura, in dripping Gaura, Gaura is the star of my eyes. In life, Gaura at the time of death. Gaura. Gaura's name is the precious necklace I wear around my neck. Keeping Gauranga inside my heart, I will sit alone and fix my mind on his enchanting moon-like form. I will gaze in his eyes and become absorbed in his beauty. Without Gaura, I cannot live. Gaura is my everything. I pray to give up my life, taking the name of Gaura. I ask for nothing else. Gaura's movements, Gaura's nature, Gaura's smiling face, Gaura's love, Gaura's full form, all enter my heart. Gaura is my dharma. Gaura is the object of my karma. Gaura is the essence of the Vedas. I surrender my life at Gaura's lotus feet. It is Gaura who will take me across the ocean of material existence. Gaura is the essence, essential sound vibration and wealth for that person in whose heart he manifests. Narahari Dasa always prays to take shelter at the feet of such a person. So this is the wonderful song. He has written many songs, but this is a wonderful song which I thought we should just recite it. It's so amazing about Gaura's love. In fact, by reading this song, we remember Satyavrata Muni's Damodara Ashtaka, where he says, Namoksha graho mesti, manasya virastan gopala balam. He's desiring that this Gopala Bala form should be in his heart. And he is saying, Lakshalabha Vrithai, why do I need hundreds and laksha, millions of desires? My only desire is that Krishna in this Damodara form should be in my heart. And we see Narahari Das Thakur also praying, why do I desire anything? Only Lord Gaura's form, the moon-like wonderful form of Gaura should be in my heart. Text 33. Snana Yatra Deke Prabhu Sange Bhakta Gana Sabalana Kaila Prabhu Gundicha Marjana. Translation. After seeing the bathing ceremony of Lord Jagannatha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu washed and cleaned Sri Gundicha temple with the assistance of many devotees. We have heard several times from so many wonderful devotees about Gundicha Marjana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching the lesson to all of us. Our heart can be so clean by remembering these pastimes, and that is how we have to keep our hearts also. Because the Rathayatra itself signifies that we are pulling Lord Jagannath into our hearts, Vrindavana, which is considered our heart. So therefore, keeping our heart clean is of utmost importance for the devotees. Keeping clean, even from material desires, even spiritually, how much we have to be in the cleaning process. Every thought, every word, every deed, we should not have duplicity. In case we have duplicity, we have to be aware that we are dupliciously creating situations and creating devotees to work for us, or we are talking in such a way that it is hurting other people. So we have to be very, very careful of our duplicitous nature. All of us have this because we want some work to be done. Therefore, we are selfish and we put on this duplicitous nature in us. We can be open and tell, okay, Prabhu or Mataji, please do this service for me. We can always request, and instead of being duplicitous. Text 134. Sabha Sange Rata Yatra Kaila Darashana Rata Agre Nityakari Udhyana Gamana. Translation. After this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the devotees saw the Ratha Yatra, the car festival ceremony. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself danced in front of the car, and after dancing, he entered a garden. We can also see here that Narahari Sarkara Thakura was in one of the dancing groups with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had made into 7 groups for dancing during the Rathayatra festival. and Naraharidas Thakura and the entire Vasis of Sri Khanda formed one group. And there they were dancing, and Naraharidas Thakura was an expert singer. So he was the group lead for that group of the dancers. And then also we have heard several times how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to dance in front of Rathayatra. And we also know how the Ratha would stop and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like a firebrand. We don't know how he used to dance, and somehow he appeared in all the dancing groups. And we could see that it was as if this appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all the groups, this mercy was shown to the king Prataparudra. And that is how he simply wanted to associate with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he became, he was shown the mercy by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Rathayatra pastimes. And also here we see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami telling that how Prataparudra also received Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy in the Vallabha gardens, and he sang the Gopi Geet. So we also learn from this pastime that a devotee, when he goes in front of Lord Krishna, or when he is at home, he should sing the prayers of other great devotees, like Gopi Geet or Pranaya Geet or Viraha Geet, or so many wonderful stutis in the Srimad Bhagavatam, like the Kunti Stuti, the Bhishma Stuti, Prahlad Stuti, because by singing such glorious prayers, we are not only reminding ourselves of the great devotee and how the Lord reciprocated with the devotee, the Lord is also happy to be reminded of his devotee. And therefore, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing us, when you go in front of the Lord, you sing prayers of other great devotees. Text 135. Prataparudrera Krupa Kailase Stane Gaudiya Bhakta Agnadila Vidayera Dine. Translation: in that garden, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed his mercy upon King Prataparudra. Afterwards, when the Bengali devotees were about to return home, the Lord gave separate orders to almost every one of them. So every year, the Lord ordered that they should come for the Rathayatra, and the devotees were so wonderful, carefree. They never bothered, oh, how I'll earn, how I'll take care of my family, or I have to accumulate money and keep it and for my retirement, or they were carefree. They simply went for 4 months, stayed with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, associated with him, recharged back their spiritual batteries, and came back. But in that also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave specific instructions to all the devotees. 136. Pratyabda asi berata yatra darshane ye chale chahi bhakta ganera milane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu desired to meet all the devotees of Bengal every year. Therefore, he ordered them to come to see the Rathayatra festival every year. So, as already we discussed, we see that several devotees from Bengal continuously used to come for the Rathayatra, and they associated with the Lord and enjoyed the pastimes. Text 137. Sarva Bhauma Gare Prabhura Bhiksha Paripati Shatira Mata Kahe Yatarandi Hahukshati. Translation: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was invited to dine at the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. While he was eating sumptuously, the son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the husband of his daughter Sati, criticized him. Because of this, Sati's mother cursed him by praying that Sati would become a widow. In other words, she cursed her son-in-law to die. Here we see Amogha, who was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's son-in-law, when once Sarvabhauma had invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for prasadam, just looking at the quantity and how Sarvabhauma with so much love, they had cooked so many varieties, Amogha criticized that what a sannyasi was eating so much. But we see that Sarvabhauma recognized the Supreme Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Lord. He wrote several compositions. One is Sachisutastakam, which glorifies Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And several, he has written even 108 names of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like this, we can understand that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya recognized the Lord as a Supreme Lord. But Amogha, his daughter's husband, could not. Because of enviousness in his heart, Amogha could not recognize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Lord. But after this incident, when Amogha fell sick, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the residence of Amogha and touched the heart of Amogha and removed all the enviousness. And Amogha also became a great devotee. So I would like to stop here. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Pranams, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Any questions? If possible, I may be able to answer, but otherwise, our mentor Ramananda Prabhu is here, he can answer. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, and thank you, Mataji. Thanks for the nice class. There are nice echo messages from your session. The most touching. This actually, I request every devotee to try to highlight one, at least one. There are so many will be there every week, but at least one which really is very close to our heart and it touches our heart and kind of a take-home message for us. So try to highlight. This is a request. So one point which is very, very, very touching is that devotee means introspection. So this is very nice point, Mataji. This is for a sadhaka. This is very important because this is the main reason why we have the problem even in our devotional life. Because the whole purpose, the whole reason for our coming down to this material world is that we are envious of the Lord, envious of devotees. If we carry this mentality even after coming to this material world, so what is the hope for us? So even when we are associating, when we are in Krishna consciousness, if we are not able to come out of this attitude, then there is no hope for us. So this is very, very important for every one of us to introspect. One is, yes, we always take guidance from our Shiksha Guru and our Diksha Guru. And also important is that because unless we introspect, we don't see that we are not going in the right direction. So that introspection helps us to identify our shortcomings and then discuss with Shiksha Guru or senior devotees and then take guidance to correct. If that is not happening, then there is no hope for us. It is very, very important point, Mataji. And you said, observe our own behavior and correct. So that is introspection. And also you mentioned about we should not have duplicity in our activities, in our nature. This is also very important. Otherwise, yes, Mataji, you are very, very right that when we carry even this attitude in Krishna consciousness, then first of all, there is no difference between us and the materialistic people. And the whole purpose of Pondracharya is doing this, Prabhupada, he created this movement for us to get out of practice, associate, and get out of this material world as early as possible. So that is not possible when we carry this duplicity in our activities. Very important point, Mataji. And also you mentioned about understanding the mood of Lord as spiritual master and do our activities accordingly. That is one very point. And finally, one important point which you highlighted about how to reciprocate with the three levels of devotees: advanced devotee, lower devotee, and equal devotee. Very, very nice points you highlighted from Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thanks for highlighting this. Devotees, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask and take advantage of Mataji's association.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, Pranam
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Mataji, pranams.
Mataji, how to understand how to recognize the devotees? Like we know devotees are externally we can't judge, internally we have to see, but how we can see their internal things? Is a Kanishta or Madhyama or Uttama? Because externally everyone seems to be same, right? Like doing sadhana bhakti, all these things. But how to judge them and how to associate with them?
Mataji, actually, my understanding I will share because each one of us have different perceptions about devotees. We have to first have faith in what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. Even once, if a person says Krishna, he is a devotee. So we can understand and respect everyone based on that. And once you start interacting, immediately Krishna sitting in the heart as Paramatma will guide you. Okay, you want to associate more with this particular devotee or no? So depending on Krishna is very, very important how we associate with others. We can always pray because even among devotees, like you said, they may internally be all different categories. We don't know, but they are still reciting the name. So you first give respect to every one of them. And then understand, we can see even externally, we see some devotees are progressing so much. Among the association of devotees itself, immediately we can recognize somebody are progressing, somebody is being blessed by Krishna, their spiritual life is taking, soaring. When you see, initially, when you see devotees who have just started, within a month, they take up to 16 rounds. So previously, they have done some great activities that now they are taking it immediately. Like our Bilvamangala Thakura, he was attached to that Chintamani prostitute. But as soon as she said one sentence, he gave up everything and went to Vrindavan. Because previously he had done so much activities. So for us is better to not judge any devotee. He is a Kanishta or Madhyama or senior. Better first, I feel, this is my perception, that how I will improve my devotional service in my 24 hours. How am I going to improve myself? Then I'll bother about others. So this is my understanding, Mataji. Other devotees may please add in how you would like to tell.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thanks, Mataji. Thanks for a nice answer. I would like to add a couple of points here, Mataji. As Radhaharini Mataji mentioned, that first thing is to respect. Because if you see what Mataji has explained about the three levels of devotees, among them, how we reciprocate to the lowest level devotees, the Kanishta Adhikari, is Mataji mentioned that one should be compassionate. So start with that. So means that when we interact with all three levels of devotees, the basic thing what we have is a compassionate and friendly nature. So then as we start associating with them, as Mataji mentioned, that the Lord sitting in our heart will reveal. So we are not here to judge other devotees, but definitely we should avoid if they are not guiding us properly. In the sense, suppose if they are going against the Shastras, against, like say somebody is, you are associating with someone and he says that let us break the regulative principles. So definitely he is not a devotee who is in a advanced level. So maybe what Mataji mentioned, like he is already chanted once at least, so he is a devotee. So he may be in a equal or lower state. So accordingly, we have to, because this is again at the best interest of our own, that we are not misguided. So we are not going away from our Krishna consciousness. So the simple answer is, Mataji, is that if the person is guiding us properly in Krishna consciousness to be in a right path and helping us to overcome our sadhana, then definitely he is a senior devotee, is in advanced stage or is better than us. So the moment he is misguiding us, so we should avoid association with them, and then be compassionate. So otherwise, all others points what Mataji has told is we need to follow. So this is some additional point which I felt. Others can add any other points, devotees?
Prabhu, I just want to add one more, Prabhu.
Yes.
So, in fact, one more thing, what is very, if we look at the faults of others, we will immediately get angry because they are committing that fault. But we have to learn to see that everybody is controlled by the material modes of nature, Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, Tamoguna. Only when they are Uttama Adhikari like Guru Maharaj, they can get over these material modes. Anybody is controlled. So we have to not understand, okay, this is Kanishta, Madhyama or Uttama Adhikari. Like Prabhu said, the guiding, who is guiding, they have to be very guiding as per the scriptures. And even we should not get angry when we see people are committing mistakes. Being a devotee, they are committing mistakes. So we have to be compassionate and try to change them. Otherwise, best is depend on the Lord and Guru.
Thank you. So any other points, comments, questions, other devotees?
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu.
Since Mataji, there is no other questions, comments, you can just glorify Chaitanya Charitamrita and end the session here.
Yes, sir. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Bhaktand ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Bhaktand ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji, you ended to which verse, Mataji?
137, I finished, Prabhu.
That is one. So next week we are going to hear from His Grace Nityanasima Prabhu from 138 onwards. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you all the devotees for the wonderful association.